Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Wake and Jake. It is March 2nd, people. There will be baseball games played this month that matter. We love that. Speaking of matter, we're going to go through friend of the program, Stephen Nesbitt, wrote one piece or four pieces for The Athletic. We'll talk about that. That's some fan survey stuff. So I'm very interested to see. Got almost 1,500 results. So I want to sort through that and see what jumps out. Everything from gambling to the path of the league to the Dodgers and how good or bad are they for baseball, some potential winners and other stuff. And more importantly, want to get on the mic with you guys in BBD. Tier list season has been rolling on, which has been awesome, and also allows us to get ahead of some of our busy time periods. But didn't get to yuck, and it's so funny. We talk a lot of baseball here because a lot of you people come here for that, and I get it, and that's fine. I like baseball. That's the good news. Wake and Jake also was originally an outlet to talk about all in other sports too, which is trimmed in, and we haven't, Team USA hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, a little late, so I'm probably not going to deep dive on that. As we have the WBC coming up. UFC, I'm sure, is operating as well. But yeah, was starting to really get excited about the WBC. Basically missed the whole Olympics. Liked him. I watched more than I thought.
Yeah.
Between curling, bobsled, not a ton of skiing. Let's go back to baseball because I've been getting sucked in some other sports. Sucked into. Hello. But yeah, just want to say I miss everyone. So let's get into it. And before we get into it, if you are an MLB fan, pretty big jam announcement. We have our official MLB merch. Again, some of you care about this, some of you don't, but we can now make real merch with real logos. This is one of our MLB partnership deals. So, yeah, real, no funny business. Yankees, Phillies, Padres, Cardinals, every team, we have a shirt for you. So, yeah, if you're just looking for a new shirt to support your team, if you're looking for a new shirt to support Jomboy Media, and this is just our first collection. So, our graphics designers, they now have kind of full Discord. Is that a phrase? Full autonomy,
free reign.
Mine stunk, so use that. It should be a really big elevation for our merch store, especially as we find our rhythm and can get into some cool design. So if you like a Major League Baseball team, you may like what's going on over there. All right, let's head on over to The Athletic. Like I mentioned, friend Stephen Nesbitt. Some of you are like, Jake, I haven't heard you talk about Stephen Nesbitt. And sometimes you just lie about having friends or making people your friends. Nesbitt's in the clear big time. He's a big JM Warehouse supporter. Every time we see him at winter meetings or something, he sneaks up on me, and then I get super excited because I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? And then he hits me with a deep cut Jomboy Media thing or something like that. And you're just like, oh, you're the man. We love Nesbitt. Yeah. You love Nesbitt.
Consistent, favorite person to run into it stuff.
Whoa! So, might as well go plug the articles. Like I mentioned, none of them are super long articles, and they're all from the same fan survey that, I'll be honest, if I'm peeling back the curtain there, it feels like it makes more sense either for Steven or The Athletic to have 4 articles instead of 1. I don't know. I don't need to overstep my boundaries. I just need to consume the content. So let's start off with actual ball, because I think that's what people like. So the first one will be MLB fans look ahead to 2026 World Series winners, potential expansion cities, and more. I was laughing. I went and listened to some of our original winter meetings. BBD Without a Beard. Whoa. Bob Costas. Foolish Bailey. First one, 2020.
Yeah.
Foolish Bailey.
Our winter meetings.
Announcing, we hosted our own winter meetings. Buster Olney from a camper out in the boonies. Bob Costas, like it was pretty wild going through some of that. And I was laughing because we were talking about expansion then, and now it's 2026. It's still being discussed, but not a lot of movement, but it feels like there is movement. So I don't know, just kind of made me laugh that in 2020 it was one of the topics we talked about with Bob Costas, and like 6 years later, not a ton of movement. Anyways, the first question, a topic we've talked about a good amount. Which MLB team improved the most this offseason? This only had 12,000 respondees, so maybe they got tired. I don't know. 34% said the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah, Kyle Tucker, Edwin Diaz, they kind of hit two of their weakest links with the two best free agents at their like respective positions, and they just continue to be the Dodgers. So not a ton of surprise there. After that, I won't say quote-unquote big winner, but the biggest winner after that, 15% said the Baltimore Orioles. That Pete Alonso signing, Taylor Ward, we continue to overlook that one. And along with the additions around the pitching staff, that Baltimore did have a very nice offseason. I've had them as one of my winners. Again, you would have, they were linked to Framber. They were linked to some other pitchers that, yes, any team adding a significant arm like that. And if pitching is this team's weakness this year, they will get crucified for it. So we're not there yet. But the fans, the people, had Baltimore as a second winner. Then at 9%, 8%, 7%, Mets, Pirates, Blue Jays. I understand the argument for the Pirates, and we've talked about it on here that I don't love it as much as other things because for me to improve the most this offseason, I can't be saying 500 would still be a win. And there's people that have higher expectations for Pittsburgh, and when you actually go through the pitching staff, you can get jazzed up. But I can also tell you, like, there was teams with really good pitching last year that didn't thrive. The Texas Rangers missed the postseason. They had amazing pitching. The Reds, I mean, they snuck in through the back door of the NL wild card, mostly because the Mets ate it, with 83 wins. The Reds had incredible starting pitching last year that you just need more. And, hey, maybe Pittsburgh did do enough. Brandon Lau, Ryan O'Hearn, some of the other tweaks, and maybe Connor Griffin joins, and he's a dude. He has been one of the talking points of this spring training. Maybe they did. The Mets changed a lot. I still don't know what to do with it. If we're going to if the Baltimore Orioles, who got love in this exercise for the second most improved team this offseason, well, those Pete points have to come off the Mets. And they replace him with Bichette, which that's just an interesting hitter conversation. Two different ways to chop it up. I think strictly hitting, I'd take Alonso, but if Bichette can play third or second, it makes a different conversation. That the Mets did completely retool, and Jolly Olive talking about it on Talkin Baseball today was, he's optimistic. He said he thinks the Mets are going to win the division, and he said he's never said that preseason about a Mets team. So they got a lot of new parts in there. I still don't know what it means. I get freaked out by Robert and Simeon, and the bullpen scares me. Blue Jays, Dylan Cease, Cody Ponce. They do lose Bichette, which let's see how that feels. And again, every time you circle up on Toronto, there's a lot to like. The infield after Vlad, I wonder if it becomes a conversation. But they've got pieces, and they did add when they didn't have to. And Max Scherzer is back. Again, I don't know what impact that makes full-blown pitching-wise. He did pitch in the postseason, and he pitched pretty well. And that's just a guy you want around your organization. Cubs and Tigers both had 6%. Alex Bregman, Framber Valdez, and not trading Skubal for the Tigers. White Sox, and then the Mariners, which, I don't know. This list feels pretty vindicating of how we've talked about teams' off seasons. There wasn't a lot of won the off season. Like, if the Dodgers were another team, they're not. If the Dodgers were another team and they were Tucker and Diaz, the voting would be closer to the Orioles or the Mets, I think. Because, I don't know, they didn't add an impact starting pitcher, but that's because they have 8 of them, if not more. they deserve that credit. But it is crazy how thin the voting gets after that. There's not a lot of teams. Like the Mets coming in third, I personally think is interesting because I think you could spin their offseason in different directions. I did leave out Freddie Peralta, which is one of my favorite moves of the offseason. But the fact that they're up at third, it's kind of weird. And, man, as we just did power rankings on Talkin' Baseball, teams 2 through 14 aren't that different. Teams 10 through 20 are not that different. I'll tell you what, go look at the Kansas City Royals. That team has a chance this year. And what does that mean? There's a chance they're third in the AL Central too. Like I could also see them winning 92 games if Cole Reagans is a dude. If Cole Reagans and Jack Caglione are dudes, that Royals team can win a lot of baseball games. It's a more impressive roster than I expected when we got into it. And on our TPPs, they were ranked 20th. So like Royals to Orioles to Red Sox to that middle tier of baseball is really tight, which I still think is a good thing. And I do think one of the Nesbitt questions kind of ties into that, but I don't know. It's an interesting exercise. The Texas Rangers have a ton of talent. What are they?
Had the best pitching last year.
The Reds are talented. Which 2025 non-playoff team are you most certain will make the playoffs in 2026? The top 3 leaders here are pretty significant. It's the Mets at 34%. Remember the Mets were the best team in baseball, and then they collapsed again? That was a little Yankee Jake leaking out. I guess I read too many comments. 34% for the Mets. The problem is the number 2 team is the Braves at 22%. I currently think I'm higher on the Braves than the Mets, but that's because I keep telling myself Ronald Acuna is Manny Ramirez with speed. The Orioles at 3rd place on here. That AL East, the AL is going to be really tough this year. Maybe that'll be a clickbait Wake and Jake this year. Because the NL last year, do you remember like the powers of the NL, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Phillies, the Braves were supposed to be. The Mets started out that way. The AL, Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox have a chance to be really good. The Orioles have a chance to be really good. Them and the Braves kind of mimic each other. And then if you go to the West, Texas Rangers are super talented. I don't know what it is. The Mariners might be the highest rated team in the AL coming into the season. Athletics are going to be tough. People don't expect wins necessarily. And then the team that landed 4th on this list is the Houston Astros, who, if I was doing my own percentages, I would beef up those Houston Astros percentages because theirs is pretty easy to be like, hey, we didn't have Yordan.
Yeah.
We've got Correa for a full year, in theory.
I'm pretty surprised. Just the voting didn't have Orioles Astros flipped. Their literal odds are probably pretty similar to get back to the playoffs. But like,
I'll tell you what, that passionate speech I just gave about Kansas City, if you start doing divisions, Kansas City could have more of an argument than a lot of those teams that, again, fan vote, and it's not like I'm slamming the table. Okay, I guess that's what, if I was hosting this show, that would probably be what people want to hear. 2025 non-playoff team I'm most certain will make the playoffs. It would be the Braves one for me. I'm in on the Braves. I think there's a Braves or Mets pick that basically you have to sort through. In the AL, do I believe in the Orioles, the Astros, or the Royals more to make the postseason? Rangers are in that mix too. If I was betting human money, I would go Houston just because I think there's a chance they still have the sauce. I'm really talking myself into Kansas City just because I think they pitch really well. And if they have one thing click on offense, they can be good.
a lot of teams, if they have a handful of things go right, sure, baseball, good year. Based on your description, I think you'll agree. It seems like the Royals, they need like 1.5 things to go right, and they have a pretty high floor.
Their pitching staff and their bullpen is really strong. And then if Isaac Collins repeats last year, which I don't know if he will, but they even have bench pieces now with Starling Marte and Lane Thomas that, like, I don't know. I looked at the Royals roster in a different way than I've looked at it throughout the offseason. That's why they play the games. Cole Reagan's your 1 or your 4? That changes the outlook of that team a lot, but he's shown he can be a 1. So I'm drinking some Royals Kool-Aid. Let's see. Which team will win the World Series in 2026? 60% of people said the Dodgers. Not another team got higher than 7%. That team, Toronto with 7%. The Mariners with 6%, Yankees 4%, Cubbies 4%, Detroit 4%. So, yeah, I mean, this is everything I'm saying. I think team popularity kicks in a little bit, like Red Sox and Mets. Brewers 1%. Anything but. Yeah, that makes sense. Which team are you most confident will not win a World Series before 2035? Okay, so we just changed the game. This is tough. The Colorado Rockies with an easy first place at 37%. You're right. That is the answer. The Angels not being higher on this list is a little crazy. Pirates, that's horribly sad when you think about it. That's horribly sad. They have the most generational pitcher and a good pitching staff, and just nobody believes, and I understand why. Athletics second is kind of illegal points. I get it, and they don't have a stadium and everything bad around that team. That Athletics front office deserves a little more respect because every 4 or 5 years they put together a really strong team, but then they just can't re-sign anyone, and it falls apart. So, again, the answer is not necessarily wrong, and I think, I don't know, you could probably put the bottom 5 teams in a bucket. I'll put the bottom 6 teams in a bucket with you. Twins, Marlins, Angels, White Sox, Pirates, Athletics, Rockies. Miscounted teams, I think. But, yeah, 2035 is a long time away. Hopefully we're telling a different story about all those teams. Potential expansion cities you would most like to see get a new franchise. Select 2. So the 13,000 respondents almost did. Nashville, a resounding 73%. People want to go to Nash Vegas, baby. That part of the country has room for an MLB team. That city is ready. All signs have pointed to Nashville for a little bit. I've got some Southwest points to use. Not as many direct flights as I'd expect out of the Northeast. Nashville is one of them. See if we get that on the board.
Okay.
I think Salt Lake was on there, which is also listed third. Portland, Salt Lake, I feel like that is going to become a gnarly debate. I feel like those are the 2 leaders in the clubhouse. They are the 2 leaders on this poll. Portland ahead of Nashville with 47%. Salt Lake 30%. Raleigh 26%. Okay. Austin at 12%. I mean, amazing town, amazing city. Closer to Houston than you'd think. And then that'd be what, 3 teams? I mean, the NBA does it. There's a lot of people down there. Orlando at 5%, below other at 8%. So I don't love that for the Orlando Dreamers. One of our favorite expansion teams on this program. Montreal was the next chunky amount of mentions. I'm excited for this conversation to spark up again. As I mentioned, we've been casually doing it for 6 years. We had that 1 week where everyone was talking about it. And I feel like when we looked into it, there's supposed to be a big date this year when teams are supposed to have their proposals in. Am I remembering that right?
It rings a bell.
MLB expansion proposals, submittals. It's a cool way to phrase it. MLB is preparing for potential expansion of 32 teams. Formal request of proposals as early as Q2 2026.
Coming up.
Yeah, that'll be a day this year. We will have expansion week this year. So get ready for that again, if that's something you're into. Some of you might not be. I will currently place my chips on Nashville. Feels like a no-brainer. Not hot takey. I would say Salt Lake. Salt Lake sneaks out Portland. I don't know why. I'm clearly guessing. I have no inside information. Salt Lake City just got the hockey team.
Exactly what I was thinking.
It feels like to get that approved by the government and the people that really need to happen, it's like you just went through that process. Although Portland, aren't they supposed to get their NBA team back? Isn't that?
Well, they
or
have
Seattle.
an NBA team. It's
Seattle, excuse me. Sorry, Trailblazers fans. We see what Denny can't say his name. Avdia. He's one of, well, a lot of politics going on right now. We'll stay out of it. You got a rock in your shoe? What happened over there?
Just an adjustment.
He tightened it up. Anyways. So, yeah, I'll go Salt Lake for now, but literally pure guesses. Let's see. In this section, I think one of our last questions, we've seen MLB games played internationally and in Iowa cornfields. What's the outside-the-box location you'd like to see a game played? The number one mentioned, and again, I think they left this too open because the way they've sorted through this is pretty... The winner is Alaska with 460 mentions, which I don't... No shame to Alaska. I literally said out loud today, I bet it'd be pretty cool to visit Alaska. A lot of islands. Love islands. Alaska and Hawaii being the top two winners, with third place being the moon. I mean, we gotta be a little better.
For a European city,
which we've been doing.
I was kind of thinking that might be like 6 of the 10 options.
I'll tell you what. 9, obviously I'm close to the situation here. Central Park. I think this is where baseball can capitalize. The one I keep throwing out like people can't stop listening to me say it. The Grand Canyon. I just think that would be cool. Like put a fence up against the canyon, hit a ball that goes...
It's going to be a cool graphic.
700 feet. We're probably hitting balls in the water and we're killing lizards or something and people don't like that. But, yeah, I think that's where baseball could win. Like you could kind of set up a field where you want.
Yeah.
Put a layer on, build a fence, get a mound. I mean, the London game was pretty ridiculous in hindsight. Like when they were like, oh, yeah, there's a vortex, every ball is a homer. And you're just like, what? How different is baseball in just a different building? That I don't know. If it's one game, I think baseball has shown, and the fans, they're like, it's one baseball game. We're playing in the same place, even if it's a bizarre field, as long as it's kind of safe enough. But yeah, like Central Park, I think would be sick. I'm trying to think what else is cool. I don't know. Can we do something under the arch in Missouri? I haven't looked at. I mean, they have a stadium right there, so I guess we're not really expanding.
It's kind of in insight.
Key West or something. I don't know.
I'd try a game in Salt Lake.
Try a game in Salt Lake. Screw it. On a mountain.
Find out.
Hey, I'll tell you what. That BYU football field is like right at the base of a mountain. I'd watch a game there. Do anything with a cool backdrop. That's basically it. The moon being the third answer. I can't.
That's a goof.
I can't address that. So that was one of Steven Article's 3 but 1 articles. Let's see. MLB fans thinks about salary caps, payroll. All right, let's see what we got. This one was interesting to me. Are you in favor of a salary cap system with a cap and a floor in MLB? The 14,000 respondents said 68% yes. 27% no, 5% no opinion. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in. This one's interesting for me because my initial reaction was to come out and be kind of tough and say, you're missing it. Like you got the wool pulled over your eyes. Like
they got you.
MLB shouldn't have a cap. That, look at the Shohei contract, look at XYZ. Vladimir Guerrero got half a billy. And maybe I am too close to the player side of things, between Trevor and just what we've seen, and we just root for the players. Like, why wouldn't you? I originally was in favor for this. That I was, hey, why don't we get some sort of baseline here so that half the league doesn't have to spend any money? Literally, there's no rule. There's nothing stopping them from not spending a dime. But yeah, as got closer and involved in baseball, it was very much the players saying they will never accept a cap, and I didn't understand that as a sports fan. Where I was like, I don't know. Like, you wouldn't accept a salary cap. What if the cap was huge? Like, that sounds nice. And then, like, what if it quelched? It's a word. What if it quelched all of your other problems? Like, what if they sat at the table and they said, hey, whatever you guys are looking for, more health care, an off day once a week.
A year earlier free agency, something.
We'll basically give it all. Let's be happy-go-lucky. We'll even give you a salary floor, a significant one. And that's where the thing does get interesting, because what is the number? Because even if it's $100 million, that only brings...
It's like 6 teams that don't do it.
A couple teams could really get there and they're still not doing anything.
What's the punishment? Is it like the NBA one where it's just you pay them the dividend you're missing?
And I just remember I think I once gave that argument to Trev, and he so passionately came back and he was like, never. So again, maybe I have the blinder on of the players never accepting a salary cap. I wonder if I'm too close to the situation, because I probably would have said yes to this survey 7 years ago, just because it'd be better for the game if all of these teams were competing at the right level. The salary cap right now, the Dodgers have changed things, and that's what I was saying when I mentioned the power rankings before, that teams 2 through 14, and if you really want to go 2 through 20, not a ton of separation. But okay. Yeah. Like, the teams that are the bottom 10 are either just failing as a franchise, Swilly's Angels, the Colorado Rockies, and then there are, unfortunately, teams that are not willing to pay to compete. Like the Pittsburgh Pirates, the cap isn't holding them back. It's an owner not willing to pay.
Their problem isn't that other teams are good.
It is.
No matter how many times they say it. Like,
I know people are going to get caught up on the Dodgers, and part of me gets it. And as I do preseason hype mode, I'm starting to think they're going to be a lot better than last year, which, a three-peat Dodgers and how they're acting could send the whole thing into a frenzy. I don't know. I guess, I'll listen to any feedback and commentary on it. That I don't want to be closed off to this, because I originally had this thought process, and now I do not. Interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, the two things about the situation that kind of get me. One, I like that every time they mention it, they're like, and we get a floor too. Every salary cap system in all the sports has a floor.
Right.
Like, it's like, obviously it would have one. But also, like, all the rules you have to make. Like, the second they agree to a floor, that's a year without games, because you just got to make the rules.
Right.
Like that. Deciding to do that, if anything, just guarantees we would miss time. Because there's so many rules to figure out. What counts as revenue? What is the floor? What is it? What are the punishments? How do you grandfather teams in? I
guess I would want people to tell me, because I know the answer is a parity, or a team like Cleveland feeling like they have more of a chance or something along those lines. And there's definitely something to that. But it's like, in what other sport has the salary cap done that for? I don't know. I don't know. I know I even got a little lost in that one. It just feels like if you operate as a good franchise, you operate as a good franchise. I don't know. I'll keep it moving. The blame for the payroll disparity between small market to big market team belongs to 57% said the owners, 2% said the players, 36% said both. That's interesting. Yeah, they chopped it up as 92.2% include the owners among the guilty parties. Well, yeah. And I think Nesbitt's spinning this in the piece of like, hey, people, like if there's 92% of you that think the owners are the problem, then maybe it's not the actual cap. And again, I won't run through all of it, but go look at what San Diego did. Look at like the Nationals used to be a big wallet team. Like it's an organizational decision. And it starts with the owner because they're the one who has to pay it. So I don't need to spend more time on that.
1% no opinion.
Respect. Really respected. I want to get through the survey, but I do not have an opinion on this one.
I clicked an MLB fan survey. I have no opinion.
This one, no thank you. Some of the other ones, maybe, but no thank you. MLB will miss games because of a lockout in 2027. 77% said yes, which, again, we haven't missed games in 30 years, and we've had lockouts. So, again, this is where we might be too close to the sun that we get caught up in a lot of these conversations, but to miss games would be a pretty wild. I haven't seen that with eyeballs that I remember. BBD was not born yet. 3 years before BBD? Depends where you measure.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people have lived lifetimes where we've never seen that. So 77% of people feeling confident that it will happen. I don't know. For me, that's kind of the fear-mongering that I feel like I've been trying to fight against. And then the final one, to what degree would losing games due to lockout negatively impact your fandom? 20% said significantly, 47% said somewhat, 33% said not at all. So 20%, I mean, that's a big number. Again, we haven't been there. How many games? We're going to have a lot of time to talk about that. So I will keep it chewing through it. Let's see. Wow, there's some heavy ones in here. Shout out to my guy Nesbitt. How does your enjoyment of consuming baseball now compare to 10 years ago? Whoa. 5 being more enjoyable, 1 being less. The good news is 4 and 5 have more numbers than 1 and 2. The most numbers are 3. 5 is being more enjoyable. So, hey, the people that are willingly filling out an MLB fan survey, more of them are saying they're enjoying it more, which is good because typically the rule of a survey is if you're filling it out, it's usually going to be negative or positive. There's a lot of times, not a lot of times you fill out a neutral survey. I still think the people coming to MLB Athletic are probably people that enjoy baseball.
They're still like it.
They're still pretty in if you're checking that out. But yeah, I'm going to soft pass on the rest of that one. How do you most frequently follow MLB action?
This one was interesting.
34% said MLB TV. I probably would have got that wrong. Wow. It's a new era. 29% said cable TV. 19% said other streaming providers. MLB at Bat app. Whoa. Social media, radio, and YouTube. So what are we? I guess most frequently follow is the phrasing here. Yeah. Because radio, social media. 14,000 people. MLTV, is that what surprised you? MLB TV? Yeah.
Like for the plurality of people watching their team?
Right.
I guess that's not necessarily what the question is. Maybe you're somebody that you're on the East Coast, you watch your team, and after you'll throw on whatever on MLB TV.
I mean,
game catches your eye. means every day you use that and it's what you think of.
Their 60-second, 10-minute highlight package is really strong. Maybe people are referencing that more.
I'm one of the biggest users of MLB TV in the world.
I mean, the other thing might be just that a chunk of the league now is already under MLB
that's
TV.
true.
That maybe that's just the part we're ignoring. And the question is phrased a little odd.
There's room for funny business.
Games or highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people, so like people move and like 30 years ago, if you moved, you're kind of done with your team. Now you would keep your team and you can just follow. You can log on.
Yeah. Let's chew through a couple more. Are you regularly impacted by blackouts for MLB games? Yes, 40%. Which I don't know. If you look at some of the charts we'd look at, you'd be like, oh, 60% is good. 40% of people feeling affected that they can't watch your product is a problem. MLB is clearly trying to address it, and in a way they are. That it'll be interesting. MLB realized how much of a problem this was. I think in the next 3 years, we'll talk about the days when games used to be blacked out, and we'll say how ridiculous that was, and I think MLB will say it too. I mean, hey, the first quote in this article, Rob Manfred said they need to be out of the business of blackouts. Sounds like college. That's nothing. That's nothing. How often do you watch MLB game broadcasts? This is interesting to me. This was an early me and Jimmy figuring this out bicker a little bit because I was like, I don't know, man. Like if you have a busy life, you can't watch every game. Jimmy's argument was like, I don't know, baseball people kind of just do watch every game if you're a real baseball person. 21% said 1 to 2 games per week. 32% said 3 to 4. 37% said 5+ games a week. So, hey, if you've got, and this is again where baseball kind of does win, almost 70% of your people are watching 3+ games a week. That's a lot of attention time you got people for. There's not a lot of products there's no product that does this.
Half of nights.
Like this is where I go like crazy. Like the only products that can keep people 3 times a week, 3 hours plus a week are like video games. If you're really into reading, like if you're really into reading, listening to music, can you even say that? Like, I don't know. This is where I'm bullish on baseball, he says. But, like, I think this is the biggest thing that has allowed baseball to win more because, like, the NBA never had this and doesn't have it. They have the stars and the star power, but they don't have that.
They only get 3 to 4 games a week, just maximum straight up.
Football does this because they've now expanded to every day of the week, basically. So I guess football deserves credit there. But it's a much more limited product that we're talking 3+ games a week over 30 fan bases in different cities. It's where baseball can win and has been winning. How often do you listen to MLB games on the radio? 40% said 1 to 2 games a week. That feels like a lie to me.
That's like
what's the caveat here?
I'm guessing that's a lot of people
like commuting.
Because like obviously we don't like go anywhere during a game, but like if you go pick up dinner or whatever, the game's on, you listen to the radio for that 15-minute drive or something.
Where do people go at 7 p.m., 7 to 10 p.m.? What do people do? Go to dinner?
Yeah. You just run out to the store real quick.
Radio listeners, let me know, because this is saying that, because 14% said 3 to 4 games per week. 5+ games a week is 7%. I guess if you have a job that is during baseball hours, that's like a potential no-brainer. So I should factor that in.
That's going to be a healthy chunk of this.
This is saying that 60% of these fans listen to one plus radio game a week, which I don't know. Does anyone in our office do that?
I'm assuming it's not the full game. It's just like literally how often do you end up listening to some of it on the radio?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And the last one, as I start to wrap it up. Which following best describes your feelings about the current overall state of baseball? 21% said enthusiastic, which, hey, try to get anyone in America to say enthusiastic about something that's basically not Sidney Sweeney at this point.
About anything's direction.
Hopeful, 46%. Kind of, I don't want to say a cop-out answer because you want to be hopeful. 11% indifferent, classic. 18% disappointed, 4% upset. Okay. I think for doing a survey, those are pretty strong numbers for like anything you'd be doing. And baseball backs it up. And even the people that aren't baseball people have been giving snaps for what baseball has done with the pitch clock and Ohtani and Judge, which, again, how much did they do? But pitch clock, the throws over to first, the more steals, the banning of the shift, like significant stuff. How would you rate the job Rob Manfred has done as MLB commissioner? This is the 1 through 5 scale again, which is just class. This isn't a standard scale. I'll tell you what, as far as commissioner grades go, this is about as high of a popularity you can get from fans. 42% being a 3. Like, if you're the commissioner and you're not hated by the fans, you're in a pretty good spot, and that's what that is. 20%, giving him his flowers at 4. I like that only 2% were willing to go to 5. Like, I'm not... At one point, you did call the trophy a hunk of metal, man. And I can't let that go. That's tough. That's tough.
Like
he's on a heater.
He's
But that's because he was on a freezer.
The numbers say trending the right way because he had a rough stretch.
And by the way, let's do this poll in a year and let me know. When we're in or coming out of peak lockout, let me know how people are feeling then.
There's a chance that when he's done, he's looked at between rule changes, if they figure out blackouts and expansion was decided the right way.
Every commissioner is in the Hall of Fame. That's the facts. The Dodgers are back-to-back champs. Are they good for baseball? Hello. 32% said good, 52% bad, 16% opinionless. No thoughts on it. I'll be honest, I flip-flop on this every day. I'll tell you what, I kind of wish my guy IKF scored that run some days because I think this wouldn't be a conversation. And I think it would just be straight up good for baseball. I think people are just talking about the Dodgers. They become what, like, in the world that I currently live in, the Dodgers are a win for baseball, and that part of that hurts my soul. But it's just the truth of it. If they do win it all this year, which they are going to be heavy favorites, and let's see what that Dodgers team looks like come October. It'll be interesting. If they're paying more for everyone, if they're the only team that Japanese players want to sign with, don't get me wrong, they are killing it on every aspect, and they are playing by the rules, and I wish my Yankees were doing exactly what they're doing, but they are not, and that is going to be a whole interesting plot twist to this season and the upcoming offseason lockout. Is betting on baseball a regular part of your fan experience? 6.5% said yes, 93.5% said no. I like this result. I don't know if that surprises people as we've been in the sports gambling space, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of people that get angry about it. And again, I'm on a weird side where like we've gotten to build a company that sports gambling was a part of that experience, a big part of it. Otherwise, we would not be. So that's where I should have like a caveat card. But 6.5%, like, you know, sometimes the amount of noise we get from doing ad reads or different stuff like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that number goes down. Like, I think everyone finds their level with the sports betting. Like, you don't need to if you don't want to. If you want to, it's there. That will be interesting to see how these... Like, I think if we asked our office this, people would just guess, I don't know, 20%. They're just like, yeah, I don't know. People probably bet on the games, right? To see 6.5.
Yeah. And again, it's 6.5 people who are 6.5% of the people responding to an MLB fan poll.
Yeah, right.
Where like the point of it is kind of to get people who probably aren't as invested as to be like reading articles on The Athletic.
Fair. And I think the last one, with the prevalence of gambling in baseball, are you worried about the integrity of the game? 77% said yes, hello. 19% no, 4% just a no opinion. It's interesting. When I first saw this, I was a little shocked, and then I thought of it, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I'll be honest. When they came out with the Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz just first pitch for ball stuff, I was like, wow, that's a really good way to cheat gamble. It's like, I didn't even think of that one. If you're a pitcher, I mean, why? I see it. Yeah, I would not be surprised if we find something similar to that. If you're a batter swinging at the first pitch or something like again, if you really let your brain wander, you can land in some tough places with it. I don't blame people. And also, I listened to Bill Simmons and Max Kellerman, who I haven't been in my Kellerman bag in a while. Very entertaining. The way he enjoys and consumes sports is just so funny. It's just years of TV and First Take and like how he organizes his thoughts. He was talking about what's the famous home run? The shot heard around the world. I think that's the Giants. Is that Bobby? Shot heard around the world. People are going to be mad. Yeah, Bobby Thompson. Like supposedly there's big time cheating and like pitch stealing allegations around that. And it's just like, and again, sorry for the Thompson family or Giants fans tuning in. I guess for me, it's just one of those things like baseball is always going to have some sort of cheating, whether gambling or actual cheating or whatever it is. That's been part of baseball's lexicon the whole time, that it's just always going to be there. So the gambling thing is definitely a wrinkle. And if none of that is true, I'm sorry to the Bobby Thompson. Was aided by a sophisticated systematic sign stealing scheme, a telescope in the Polo Grounds. So like, that's one of baseball's most famous home runs ever. And again, this is a little bit of secondhand knowledge, so I'm sure I'm getting parts of it wrong. But yeah, I guess people should always be a little skeptical of what's going on a baseball field, which is not probably where I should be landing this, but it's where it's landed for today. And Little Poppy's got to run. But it was great talking to everyone. I know the tier lists are a lot of fun and you guys like them, but I like doing this too. Tier list coming Wednesday. The next week or so may be funky because WBC's coming up, but that's the next week.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The WBC starts end of this week, so we'll be talking some WBC.
Yeah. We'll talk about it all. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Subscribe, share, all the good stuff, and we'll see you soon.